we covered what courtrooms are, and they are actually vessels in dry dock, and you're entering foreign territory, and the judges are supposed to be moving as or acting as fiduciaries, but they're actually taking jurisdiction as the captains of their vessels. That means they're the king of their vessels. And all they want to do, and this is quite important, this is where the real information comes. This is where the stuff that why they do this, make it more real. The courtrooms are essentially there to remove commercial energy from you guys on an individual basis or on a tribal level or entire countries, and use the courtrooms as a conduit to take it back to the people that do not have any creative energy or any commercial energy. The only way that I can give value to my fictional money, that is printed money or fractional money, is to give you some of it, enough of it, for you to, for example, if you're a farmer, to develop your farm much further where it's now productive. In other words, you have converted the money, the fictional money, the paper money, into something that is real. Yeah, into commodities, as he says. And then to remove as much of that commercial energy, anything up to 80% more, and then use that building, the courtroom, as a conduit to the people that do not have the ability to create things. From what I have gathered from the people that have had meetings with these people is that they lack creativity. From what Russell told me, Russell Gould that is, these people are xenophobes, the ones that own the UPU and the ones that control the IMF or the IMF family, xenophobes. Xenophobe, this is not what you think it is. It means the fear of a stranger. So the conscious mind, they gave you another understanding, the fear of Jewish people. It's not. It means the fear of strangers. They're xenophobes. Yeah? And they have no creativity. So they create these mechanisms and the courtrooms to remove commercial energy. And they do that by creating the near perfect system. And underneath that, they slip in the poison. Yeah? Who's doing all the damage in the US and in this country? Who's removing commercial energy from the country? Yeah. And who are they doing it for? The federal system, the federal creators of the federal jurisdiction, the UPU. Yeah? If it's done in Ireland, it probably goes straight to the Queen, who would be the figurehead for the people that she is the figurehead of. Yeah? That's how they get the money off of you, is that they give you the illusion of currency, paper. They give you enough of it to make something of it, give it real value, sweat equity. Biblically, we call that earning, living. How did you phrase it?
By the sweat of your brow you shall live.
Yeah, by the sweat of your brow, which is known as sweat equity. Yeah, and once you've created this sweat equity, they remove it from you. And they put even laws in place, and they openly advertise it. So as a human being, you cannot inherit your blood, you cannot inherit wealth, you cannot inherit anything. And what's most important is that your children do not inherit the wealth that you made. Because if your children inherited it, then they wouldn't be able to remove any commercial energy from you to them. That's what these systems are about. And they created the language, the poisoning of the language for you, under the threat of death if you don't speak it, and all these systems that you see around you. That's why all of us have to go to work day and night, and there's no closure on how many hours we can work, how many hours we should work. There's no closure on how much tax you have to pay. You don't ever have any closure. You don't even have closure when you passed away. They're still in control of your inheritance. There is no closure until you, with the use of your will, albeit your thinking, because it's your thinking that will get you there, put a full stop to it. And he's saying, no, I ain't giving you any more commercial energy. Full stop. If you can find that within yourselves, to say that within yourselves, you are now in possession of your own thoughts. In other words, you're speaking like a man and a woman. And what does a woman mean? Man with a womb. When religion speaks of it, what do they get you to believe? It means man, woe man. Woe unto man. Man of sorrow. That's a lie. That's the duality in language. Telling the truth to the subconscious mind and lying to the conscious mind. A woman is supposed to be a sorrow person. Ain't going to happen anymore, is it? Now that we know the language, you created dualities. And where you created no dualities, you've created hundreds and thousands of words, meanings for just one word. Yeah? We know what they are, so the game is over. No more removing of commercial energy. The money that I make is mine, and I will keep it. Full stop.
The treaty.
The treaty.
And articles, that's relevant.
Okay, so for example, if you type in Google title, not statutes or laws, because what's a statute? It's a statute. What's a legislation? It's a leg of a statue. What's an act? It's an actor acting. What's parliament? Passing statutes and laws. Acting out? It's acting out. What does parliament mean? It means parlay. Talking, M-E-N-T, mental. They're openly telling you this is a talking shop. If you want to join us, let's have a really good talking shop and you become a member of a talking shop.
Mental exercise. Yeah.
That's what that's about. Who passes laws?
Nobody.
Parliament sanctions the laws. It's given to them by the directors of Parliament. What they did is they got you to vote for the person that would be in control of that Parliament. That Parliament now makes the directors the beneficiary of the trust. You're supposed to be the beneficiary of your own trust. So the directors are the beneficiaries of the trust. So the commercial energy goes to the directors. The directors direct Parliament to say what they need to say. The laws, statutes and so on and so forth have been passed. So the long-winded way of saying that is if you type in titles, title 18, do it and you'll find out what title 18s are. If you want to know what maritime law is, to look up, I think, title 46. It will show you. Cornell University has a beautiful website that lists all of these things. And you can do all your research there. Or any one of those government organizations. And they will give you the codes, the titles, the laws, how these things work. It will give you how flags operate. Open flags like Blue Peter. I think it means permission to land. That's what a Blue Peter flag is. Like a white flag means that I wish to make contract with him. It doesn't mean peace. A white flag with a red background means that it's target practice. Red cross. Yeah, open flags, openly telling you what they're up to. The British flag, that's a double cross, by the way. I think you guys mostly know that. Yeah.
Three crosses, British flag.
Yeah, look at Manly Hall. I'm working on trying to expand the book to what it originally was, because it was supposed to be all the works of how the language works, neurology works, the flags and so on and so forth. So I'm trying to put that words back in. The only person that has the true copy of it is David Wayne Miller. He's got the original. He's keeping it. So I thought to myself, since he's taught me so much, he's taught me to put the words back in that they took out and take out the words that they put in. Why can't I do that with Manly Halls? Yeah, so that's one of the things I'm working on. The other thing that I'm working on still, because I need to record it into the Bureau of Facts and Weights and Measures, is the expansion of the Earth. And that's just a simple calculation that any Earth scientist can perform. But it will take about a month or so to make those calculations final and to put notary signs on it. So notify it with the thumbprints, with the stamps, and send it off.
So you've done a document which you want the public to be aware of or notice to the public.
Yeah.
Can you go to Bureau of Weights and Measure and register as a fact?
If it's a fact, gold is a fact, atomical numbers are facts, I'm a fact. Your birth certificate, your certificate of your birth should be should be listed in the Bureau of Weights and Measures because you're a weight upon the earth, albeit you're a weight on the earth. What they did is they robbed you of it. Yeah. So when he enters into your world, when your son enters or daughter enters in the world, they enter as a fact. Okay, that's the power of it.
Can you then use that in a court case to establish a fact which the court can't then challenge because the fact...
That's what I'm working on. It's probably an original thought that I have, but instead of doing it for a person, I thought I'd do it for the entire planet. Yeah, because you live on the planet.
Same principle on a larger scale.
Yeah. How you publish documents of this nature is to put it on Facebook or any open social media website because they created all these mechanisms for you so you can, yeah, created for them, created by them for you.
It's in the public, it's been
Yeah.
introduced.
Yeah, like search engines, for example. Google will give you all the information, most of the information that you need, but if you want to refine it, you have to go back to what the original search engines was. Which they call torrents.
Yeah.
Job of Google is to rob you of the torrents because torrent went looking for every computer on the planet for the information that you asked. Yeah, where it had no censorship, but they robbed you of that. So they gave you a central server, a library system. Yeah, so that is that.
I'm not
Sorry,
clear
go on.
why you denote such significance to the possibility that in line, as I understand it, in line with the expansion or accepted expansion of the universe, that the world must therefore also be expanding. And if so, to my mind, it would probably be by a microscopic amount. And why is it significant to actually make or refute this theory? What's important about it?
The language that we speak in is in the language of scarcity. Oil is scarce, water is scarce, the air, I'll answer your question in the full. The air that you breathe is scarce, everything is scarce, everything is going to run out. Even the space that you live on is going to run out. If you remove scarcity mentality, you get people thinking in abundance mentality. Because abundance is a theory, not theory, it's the fact of nature. You plant one seed, it gives you 1,000. It's abundance theory. Dr. Covey, in the habits of habits of highly successful people, put it beautifully. You know, the scarcity mentality versus the people that think in abundance. The earth is abundant. They robbed you of that. In Russia, when they dig an oil well, they let it run dry. When it runs dry, they let it sit there for a few years, and then they come back in and retap that well because they know the oil fills it. Yeah, water is generated in your planet, trillions of gallons every single day, and it evaporates with the heat. The heat carries it out into space. It's constantly rejuvenating itself.
Well, how come the North Sea is running out?
I beg your pardon?
How come that the volume of oil, for example, coming from the North Sea oil fields has diminished by something like 80% already, and the projection is that it will actually dwindle over the next 5 to 10 years to virtually nothing and trundle along onto 500,000 barrels or 250,000. So how does that, if it's all being topped up, why does it run out?
Why does it run out? I just told you it doesn't.
No, but
Oil fields are retapped. Russia oil fields, when it runs out, when it goes dry, they just leave it to sit for a little while.
So
and then they come back where the water fills. The aquifer under your planet, under the continents, are created all the time. They give you the idea it's water seeping through. Yes, some of it is, only a little bit of it. But it's actually water generated within the earth.
That oil in the North Sea, it's proven that it's producing much less now than what it was in the 1980s. Boom time has gone. Again, or what?
What I'm saying to you, it is that it is absolutely essential that I get you to believe that the oil is running out, that I will go to any lengths that I can to go to the most remote parts of the world to give you the illusion that you need super technology, super drilling mechanisms to be able to tap that oil. When I can Google, and you can do this right now, and you should do this right now as well, geological map of Great Britain. Oh bloody hell, half the country floats on oil. and you go to Windsor, where the Queen lives, oh, there's a bloody oil well there. How the hell is that getting out? How deep is that? You ask these basic questions, oh, most of this country floats on oil. But they'll tap it from the North Sea to give you the illusion. But if you ask any farmer, if you tap the water supply from the aquifer or the oil that's sitting under your farm, the Queen come and take your land away because you only own 6 inches below the soil level, the topsoil. Is it 6 inches or 5 inches? I've forgotten. Who cares about a few inches? Huh? Fact. That's a fact. Every time these people give you this information, it locks you into scarcity. I'm expecting the oil fields to run out a little bit, yeah? Especially when they overpump it. Leave it for 10 years like the Russians do. 5 years, 3 years. Oh, and behold, there's a new pot of oil there. The aquifer is running low. Oh, leave it there for a little while. Let's come back next month. Oh, bloody hell, it's seeping. The Vikings used to take their boats to the Middle East. Did you know that? To have them corked using oil. And they did that throughout the Middle Ages as well, because the oil used to pour out everywhere in the Middle East. The Bukhara regions in the Bukhara region, I think it's called Bukhara regions in Russia, near the Black Sea. The oil is so plentiful, it pops out in bloody creeks. Yeah, it pops out of the earth. And these places have always been, traditionally, throughout thousands of years, where they would cork their boats. They would make them waterproof, and they would take it there to make it waterproof. That's the service that they provided.
I understand it. You can't run out because it's the way the sun rays interact with the medium to produce this. So as long as there is the sun, and when the ray gets beneath the earth and it reacts with certain minerals, that's the net result. It might produce oil here, might produce gold there, might produce diamond there, but it's the ray, the actual sun's ray interact with that area.
The way that I'm going about it is on a geological process rather than a solar process. If the solar process explains a lot, I'll bring it in. But I do need an earth scientist, any volcanologist to be able to perform these calculations. And I did have one, but we suffered sabotage in Ireland. Any person that understands the solar system will be able to perform those calculations and what happens when you expose elements to the sun's rays. Yeah, these calculations can be performed in under a month. Just as the Chinese can build a Royal Rife microscope with 60,000 magnification using silicon lenses set by gravity. A droplet of silicon lens, no grounding, no nothing. And gravity will set it beautifully to the shape that they want it by controlling the temperature and the viscosity of the drop, creating the exact sphere that they want, exact curvature. Yeah? That's the level of robbery, the level of rape, the level of torture that they've been performing on you for so long. When I was doing social sciences, I was flabbergasted when my social science lecturer said to me, "Mark, do you know how old the steam engine is?" I said, "Yeah, of course, it's the Industrial Revolution. You know, how old that is, 200 years, whatever." You know, he said, "No." He said, "It's 2,500 years old." I said, "Come on, stop all this. You're always talking nonsense, conspiracy, and so on and so forth." You know, I completely dismissed it. He goes, "Mark, do you know what a condenser? Do you know what a what gave the Industrial Revolution its power? It was the condenser engine." He said, "Do you know how that old? Do you know how old that is, Mark?" I said, "No, look, come on, this is just recently." He said, "No, it's 2,500 years old, because we have fossils of the damn thing on people's desks." Yeah, they had condenser engines. Condenser engine simply means that when you cool the piston filled with steam, it contracts at a greater rate than it expands. So you get a double whammy. So you get a push of the piston, and then you get a suction because the steam is being contracted when you throw cold water over the cylinder. So it goes, Yeah, that's exactly how a HHO engine works as well. A HHO engine, which is just water with electrodes in. It generates 2 parts of hydrogen, 1 part of oxygen. You put that into a cylinder, it will give you a spark. It will expand 3.5 times faster than the optimum level of petrol, and it will contract as well, so you get a double whammy. So you don't just get a puff, you get poof and an implosion as well. Yeah, they've robbed you of all of these things by just simply controlling the vocabulary.
And there are vehicles that run on air and water. I mean,
Yeah.
I have my one in the future. So when I've done with what I need to do, it's something I will look into.
Well, Mark,
It's interesting, I think.
Mark, this is very interesting, but I have certain health problems and issues that I would like to address, and I'm very interested in what you have to say about MMS and MMS2 and DMSO. So can we move on to that?
Yeah. Shall we?
No, it's all right. I mean, I don't mind sharing my health issues and it's general procedure about the MMS and DMSO treatment anyway.
Okay, so let's go with the questions.
What reading material directly related to UPU would you suggest? Any?
Yeah, go onto Google and just look up the power of the Universal Post Office. Look up on Wikipedia. It used to have quite a lot of information on Wikipedia, but they shortened it now. Or just come and speak to me after the seminar and I'll give you the UPU forms. Okay? Yeah. The information that they give you, which I have on my desktop.
Have you made any?
I've got my memory stick.
Yeah. Very large memory stick, I noticed.
What contributions have you
Have you made any claims in federal court?
Yeah, everything is federal. You can't help but do federal. They robbed you of the federal jurisdiction because it's a near perfect system. All judges are supposed to be fiduciaries, but they're acting as the captain of their vessel under maritime law, because it's a vessel in dry dock.
So we can do them for fraud there.
That's correct, yeah. Or reduce them to the fiduciary level. As you say, puny.
Other than what you've already said about going into the courtroom and reducing them to...
Empowering them, it's honor-based, duty-bound. You're not reducing them. You're actually giving the most powerful. You're empowering them to become the most powerful person in that courtroom, which is to be honor-bound, duty-bound. When a person is honor-bound, duty-bound, they are automatically the most powerful people. Yeah, the captain is only captain of the vessel, nothing else.
Self-interest.
Yeah, his job is to remove commercial energy. You're going to use him to get back your commercial energy. Or go down the conduit, put your hand down there and pull out all the stuff that they stole from you. Claims, as they call it. These are claims. I'm talking big here because I haven't done that yet.
I've got a lot of claims to put forward, so...
Yeah, I mean, I have not successfully put a claim in. Yeah, I've only successfully got people out of the courtrooms and to reduce the judges. This is my next stage. For that, you guys need to work together. In Ireland, I'm okay to do that because they look after me. But in Britain, it's up to the British people to do what they need to do. Yeah, this is the great British public we're talking about. As he pointed out, it is the great British public.
Not so great British.
Yeah. Now, I mean, Great Britain is the country that treated with the UPU. Yeah.
My mama called it the Great Prison.
Okay, I think we are done.